take you out to a nice seafood dinner. But your card's right. I'll even call you again.
It's Basement Boyz Town.
The time is now.
Let's get down to this business, boys.
Tells you how to be a guy who does stuff in society without people's property.
Well, we're the Basement Boyz. I'm Hollywood.
I'm Bear Swiftly.
Jungle Boswick.
Here we go. It's the 48 Laws of Power. We're kicking it off right. Preface. The feeling of having no power over people and events is generally unbearable to us. When we feel helpless, we feel miserable.
Bearable.
No one wants less power. Everyone wants more. In the world today, however, it is dangerous to seem too power hungry. To be overt with your power moves. We have to seem fair and decent. So we need to be subtle, congenial, yet cunning, democratic, yet devious. This game of constant duplicity most resembles the power dynamic that existed in the scheming world of the old aristocratic court. Throughout history, a court has always formed itself around the person in power. King, queen, emperor, leader. The courtiers who filled this court were in an especially delicate position. They had to serve their masters, but if they seemed to fawn, if they curried favor too obviously, the other courtiers around them wouldn't notice and would act against them. Attempts to win the master's favor then had to be subtle, and even skilled courtiers capable of such subtlety still had to protect themselves from their fellow courtiers, who at all moments were scheming to push them aside.
Courtier is a guy who hangs out, I think.
A person who
Shout out
attends...
to any courtiers
Pretty much,
out there.
dude. Pretty much, a courtier is a person who attends a royal court as a companion or advisor to the king or queen.
100% I was right.
Yeah, you were, dude. A courtier is just a... And is it courtier or courtier? I mean, that's...
Oh.
How about blue?
How about blue on your balls?
Wow,
I got blue
We're giving
balls.
it blue balls.
The worst. You're purple.
Right, dude. What else you got? What else you got for this man? What is going on over
Oh,
there?
now I'm, whoa. Look at that. Why am I like,
Are you being abducted right now, dude?
Oh, I'm about to light up this couch.
It just reminded me of the first song. He makes the
So
world
we
feel
just dropped
good.
shit? Did you just drop a shit? Oh, it was the dog.
You think it would be that loud?
Yeah, I was like,
Whoa.
Benjamin, you got strength down there. Anyway.
Yes. I got game. Meanwhile, the court was supposed.
Supposed. I get it, dude. I've been supposed to do shit for a while.
Alright, it's
now.
time.
That's not this podcast. Wrong podcast.
Oh, sorry. Shit.
I like that. We're leaving that in. We're leaving that in. I like it. That was a good time. Next time, one fuck up. It's like, ah!
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's the same podcast here anyway, but we're trying to focus on these laws.
All right.
Page 1 of 1.
Meanwhile, the court was supposed to represent the height of civilization and refinement. Violent or overt power moves were frowned upon. Courtiers would work silently and secretly against any among them who used force.
Fellas who hang out.
This was the courtier's dilemma. While appearing the very paragon of elegance, they had to outwit and thwart their own opponents in the subtlest of ways. The successful courtier learned over time to make all of his moves indirect. If he stabbed an opponent in the back, it was with a velvet glove on his hand, and the sweetest of smiles on his face. So
Sounds like politicians today.
well, bro, is that where like the whole glove slapping thing came from? Is from French courtiers who just like slapping each other up the side?
French duels.
Yeah, okay. The successful courtier learned over time to make all of his moves indirect. If he stabbed an opponent in the back, it was with a velvet glove on his hand and the sweetest of smiles on his face. Damn it, I read that.
It's fine.
Instead of using coercion or outright treachery, the
How would you know he
perfect
had a smile?
courtier
I
got
can
his
see
way through seduction, charm, deception, and subtle strategy, always planning several moves ahead.
Think Bill Clinton.
Life in the court was a never-ending game that requires constant vigilance and tactical thinking. It was civilized war. All right, dude, we got one more page of the preface, but it's a half one. I'm just gonna, and then never.
That's it.
That's where we start.
That's the one law right there, though.
Yeah,
They're tiny.
yeah,
So
Tiny laws.
yeah.
it's cool.
But very
the longest
powerful.
the longest thing we're gonna read in the whole book is like the preface.
The preface is the longest thing. All right.
It's only 50 pages long, man. The preface is 2. The
Yeah,
fucking each
yeah.
power has 1 page.
It'll
Wait a
take
minute,
us
no,
48
this-
minutes
I know,
to
I'm
get
just
through
kidding.
2
No,
Wait a
it's
minute.
being funny.
It does look like that, though.
Right.
Like when he
The
busted
pages
it
are
out. When he busted it out, he's like, "This is the laws of power." I was just like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "That is actually a quick
So much
read."
power in
Well,
such a
think
tiny
of
book.
think of Sun Tzu's fucking The Art of War.
Yeah.
It's short.
Oh, it's tiny. That's literally like
Kill or be
40
killed.
pages. Yeah, it's very short, depending on how big it is.
Uh-oh.
Here comes Pupper.
Here comes our mascot.
All right. Today we face a peculiarly similar paradox to that of the courtier.
Right.
Everything must appear civilized, decent, democratic, and fair. But if we play by those rules too strictly, if we take them too literally, we are crushed by those around us. We're not so foolish. That's real obvious. Okay.
Yeah.
As-
Filler.
It's like if you're the dumbest ass person in the room, other people will take advantage.
Yeah.
Like, no
100%.
shit.
100%.
I need another
So,
joint.
after that one,
Well, that's not even the first law. It's
yeah,
still,
dude.
I know.
As the great
Still just stating
Renaissance,
the obvious.
as the great Renaissance diplomat and courtier Niccolo Machiavelli
I
wrote,
knew it was gonna be fucking Machiavelli.
it always is Machiavelli.
That or Don Juan DeMarco.
Yeah, bro. He gets a lot of play.
Or Macklemore.
Literally, Macklemore. They don't call him Macklemore for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
That might have been too many negatives. So they
Macklemore.
do call him Macklemore for no reason. I think that's what I just said. Oh, people like the humanism. Humanism?
The human element.
Humanity.
You know what? I
Well,
actually think all
real
three
is
of
the-
those are acceptable.
Probably.
Yeah, I think every single one checks out. I think
Checks.
humanism is a word.
Checks now.
Humanity is a word, and then the human element is a term. So, we nailed it. The court imagined itself the pinnacle of refinement, but underneath its glittering surface, a cauldron of dark emotions: greed, envy, lust, hatred, boiled and simmered. Our world today similarly imagines itself the pinnacle of fairness. Yet the same ugly emotions still stir within us, as they have forever. Powerful. The game is the same. Outwardly, you must seem to respect the niceties, but inwardly, unless you are a fool, you learn quickly to be prudent and to do as Napoleon advised. Place your iron hand inside a velvet glove. If, like the courtier of times gone by, you can master the arts of indirection, learning to seduce, charm, deceive, and subtly outmaneuver your opponents, you will attain the heights of power. You will be able to make people bend to your will without them realizing what you have done. And if they do not realize what you have done, they will
clean
neither
break.
resent nor resist you. Consider the 48 Laws of Power a kind of handbook on the arts of indirection. By studying the laws in this book, you will understand power and its properties. And by putting them into practice, you will be able to thrive in the modern world, appearing the paragon of decency while being the consummate manipulator.
Let me get that.
Yeah, you want to...
Why can't you, like, I bet you there's a way Now that we finally got through that.
Spray it,
My bad, man. I'm sorry.
Now that we got through that, it really does sound like you can actually apply these things in a good way and not be a maniacal fucking manipulator. The situation
you will
into
be able to thrive in the modern world, appearing the paragon of decency.
Yeah, appearing that way.
Being the consummate manipulator.
But
Right,
I am fucking
dude.
decent though. I don't want to appear that I'm decent. I am decent. I don't want to just appear
Hey,
that
listen,
way.
after these
Doesn't change
laws
you,
get added,
always
there's no changing. You're evil now, bud.
Well, that guy did come up and tell me I look like an evil supervillain Saturday night.
Yeah, bro. I
Against the
literally,
bar.
like, you know, it's funny. I was just thinking that stupid ass shit. Like, it's
Me
just.
and Bear here are standing at the bar just chatting, and all of a sudden this guy walks up and he's like, "Sorry to interrupt." He's like, "Man, you look like the Riddler, bro."
He fucking does.
He's like, "You look like an evil supervillain," and I'm like, "High five." He's like, "No, man, that's a compliment." I'm like, "I took it as one."
Super villain. All right, what do we got? Law number one?
Law number one.
Law number one.
Never outshine the master. Judgment. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please and impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. Inspire fear and insecurity. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power.
That doesn't make sense because
I
I
love
would
how
look.
They'll eventually stop teaching you. That's the problem. Like once you gain all the knowledge you need from them, crushed.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, according to I can already tell that's what this fucking book's gonna end up saying. Like,
Well,
just
if
need
they're,
to- you
if
need
they're
to
your
get-
superior and you're trying to make your way farther ahead,
Yeah.
like it doesn't help
once you become
to
equal
make
or
them
better
like
than them,
yeah, but it doesn't make. Are we talking?
Start
Are we talking
outshining
from a
the
financial aspect or like just like from a mental aspect,
Oh,
like a?
I mean,
No,
we're gonna get into
it's
it.
probably the talents that you are putting forth. So then after we get to
She's
the
actually being
law,
good.
so after we get the law, then it's got what, this keys of power, which
Keys
is
to
an
power.
explanation for how to utilize this law. You think?
Hopefully,
All right, let's hear it, man.
Keys to power. Everyone has I can't do the whole thing.
No, do it in a regular voice. Just do it in a regular
I-
voice.
I-
Yeah, dude, but have some fun with
For
it. I mean,
4,000 years.
Yeah, right. Join the dots.
Back in the day.
Keys to power.
I'll do those like that, but then I'll read normally.
Keys to
The
power.
keys to power.
Everyone has insecurities. When you show yourself in the world and display your talents, you naturally stir up all kinds of resentment, envy, and other manifestations of insecurity.
Yeah.
This is to be expected. You cannot spend your life worrying about the petty feeling of others. I hate it when they like fucking dash the word. And it's like half the word here and the other half
Oh,
over there.
'cause
It's
they
like,
couldn't
I know
fit it in
they
the-
have to do it because of the how it would look on the page otherwise,
Yeah.
but it does throw me off sometimes. It's like, oh, feeling of others. Everybody,
It's
we
called an
clearly
apple
don't
store.
have that many keys to power over here. We're like, keys to being terrible at stuff over here. Anyway,
We're
let me
working
do
on
old
keys.
man stuff. All right.
Yeah, where was I?
All right. With those above you, however, you must take a different approach. When it comes to power, outshining the master is perhaps the worst mistake of all. Do not fool yourself into thinking that life has changed much since the days of Louis the 14th.
Yes.
The B-I-I-I.
X149er.
Like,
And the Medicis, right?
what's a Medicis?
It's an Italian guy.
Medici's.
Medici, I think.
Medici.
Is it Medici? M-E-D-I-C-I-S.
The Medicis.
Roast me in the chat if I
The
fucked it up.
Medicis.
Because I do this practically all day long at my job.
Hey,
So
listen, if you're breaking your spaghetti, we're not going to be happy with you. Nor impressed if you don't salt your butter.
alright. Guy. Dude, that's just regular shit.
This is regular.
That's not even Italians getting mad. It's like, how much time we're gonna waste
boiling the water. Put some fucking salt in it already. What the fuck?
Oh, shit.
They want to feel secure in their positions, superior to those around them in intelligence, wit, and charm. Honestly, all people
hard when
want to
I'm
do,
around.
all people want to do is they strive for middle management. And then once they get there, they covet the little bit of power they've gotten, and they just lord it over people. Let them lord it and laugh at them. Behind their backs. Make fun of them behind their backs too. Oh, that's a good time. Make nicknames up for them.
You should be expanding your power. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're contending? People are content to get to middle management and stay there where they should continue.
Well, people fucking love that shit. Once they get to lord over like a 5-person crew, they're just like, yes, finally the power. I have all the power. And they just can't handle it. Most people can't handle a little bit of power. It just goes.
Can't handle power.
And then this is what they're talking. That's exactly who they're talking about here. It's like, don't outshine the master if your master is a fragile little bitch. But if your master is confident in his position and place in the world, then usually a good master. Also,
I don't know.
Master
I never had to kiss
is
ass.
fucked
I always
up.
did a good job.
Well,
I never felt intimidated by my bosses or the owners because I was always doing what I needed to do. So I've never.
Well, I see a guy like this at my job where you can tell like everything kind of gets fucked up down the chain because they hire people.
Well,
that
shit
are
rolls
less,
downhill.
He hires people lesser than him.
Of course.
So it's like, okay, you want a manager in there that's bad at management because
You're a bad man.
you're bad at like nobody, once they get power, nobody wants to
You're all
lose
ants,
power.
and I will crush you.
Well, then nobody wants to lose power. It's like when governments get to a certain level of power, they no longer are helping the people. They're protecting themselves and their own power against the people.
Oh, you mean what's going on right now?
Yeah, the law involves 2 rules
I don't
that
mean
you
y'all.
must realize.
The master.
First, you can inadvertently
Right.
First, you can inadvertently outshine a master simply by being yourself.
Smile.
There are masters who are more insecure than others, monstrously insecure. You may naturally outshine them by your charm and grace. If you cannot help being charming, you must learn to avoid such monsters of vanity or find a way to mute your good qualities. Second, never imagine that because the master loves you, you can do anything you want. Entire books could be written about favorites who fell out of favor by taking their status for granted or for daring to outshine. Knowing the dangers of outshining your master, you can turn this law into your advantage. First, you must flatter and puff up your master. Give him a fucking fluff job before fucking coffee
Apparently.
break.
I'm just not a kiss ass.
Let me fluff you up before you go home to the wife.
Wow, you're moving up that ladder.
Yeah, dude,
100%.
100%.
I've got multiple promotions.
Dude,
okay?
he knows what's up. I mean,
Awesome.
is this your first time reading this book?
I wrote this book. Well, I got these are my old little excerpts though.
Yeah.
The whole fluff your master before he goes home to the wife is my addition. Over flattery can be effective, but has its limits. It is too direct and obvious, and every once in a while, when the wrong light comes in, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Oh.
like, oh, but I lose myself in the book. Oh, I become Machiavellian.
Yeah, when it goes to that red,
No.
everything goes.
Yeah, it's cool, but at the same time,
Right.
it's like, for me, it's blue, I think. It is too direct and obvious and looks bad to other courtiers. Discreet flattery is much more powerful. If you are... Oh, watch out, pup. If you make him appear more intelligent than you are, act naive. Make it seem that you need his expertise. Commit harmless mistakes that will not hurt you in the long run, but it will give you a chance to ask for his help. Masters adore such requests.
Yeah,
They fucking love that
do.
shit. A master who cannot bestow you with such gifts of his experience may direct rancor, and ill will at you instead. Is that where they get rancor? The rancor?
No, it's rancor.
Oh, rancor. Well, I saw rancor because.
Yeah, I know. That is
There's a magic card called Rancor.
that
This is Star Wars. It's probably.
Yeah.
Imagine they did a.
exactly.
A
Probably
magic card.
they were just like, dude, that word is gnarly.
If your ideas are more creative than your master's, ascribe them to him. in as public a manner as possible, make it clear that your advice is merely an echo of his advice. If you are naturally more sociable and generous than your master, be careful not to be the cloud that blocks his radiance from others. He must appear as the sun around which everyone revolves, radiating power and brilliance, the center of attention. That had called for it, the way that was like rising up.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta blow this guy for sure.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's fucking yeah.
It checks out either way.
It's suckdiculous. You know what I'm saying? Alright.
Beneath
If you are naturally more sociable and generous than your master, be careful not to be the. Oh, I already did this whole paragraph.
Just get lost.
You did like a half a sentence. I'm like a full paragraph.
Shout out,
like,
Bassment Boyz.
Yeah.
Hey.
Start clapping our fucking belly. No. Oh, we gotta resist. As fun as it is. And I can't because I got a blistered belly. It's like, I've been doing it too much, practicing. In all of these cases, it is not a weakness. In all these cases, it is not a weakness to disguise your strengths if in the end they lead to power. By letting others outshine you, you remain in control instead of being a victim of their insecurity. This will all come in handy the day you decide to rise above your inferior status. If you can make your master shine even more in the eyes of others, then you are a godsend and you will be instantly promoted. Whoa. Image. You're getting your dick sucked, and then the master walks in. Be like, sorry, boss. Come here and I'll suck your dick while I'm getting
Word for word in the book.
Okay. For real though, this is how it is. Don't worry about my excerpts. Image. The stars in the sky. There can never be one sun at a time. Never obscure the sunlight or rival the sun's brilliance. Rather than fade into the sky and find ways to heighten the master's stars' intensity. Authority. Avoid outshining the master. All superiority is odious. Nice, I nailed that. By the superiority of his subject over his prince is not only stupid, it is fatal. This lesson, man, it's red, so like it is. Some of the colors really just goes away completely.
So maybe next time we should just use a solid light.
Nah, I like it. It's fun. It's challenging. It's like a whole challenge.
Yeah, right.
And I look cool. Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at my knees.
Yeah.
I have the same problem I was having. It doesn't even make a difference. So I can't get out of here, dude.
It's just my knees. La la la.
Alright, sorry.
Where are we at?
The lesson that the stars in the sky teach us, they may be related to the sun and just as brilliant, but they never appear in her company. Baluster 1601 to 1658. Yeah, buddy, you gotta do law number 2. Do a powerful voice. Ooh.
This might be difficult.
Yeah, right.
Never
Yeah.
put too much trust in friends.
Yeah.
Learn how to use enemies.
Is that the law?
Yeah,
That is the law.
Law
Yeah,
two.
sorry. Law 2.
Now give me the judgment, brother.
This is the judgment. Be wary of friends. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy.
Yes, we are.
They also become spoiled and tyrannical. Sounds like the whole fucking But here, a former enemy, and he will be. Wow, I gotta wait for this.
She's
Like,
needy.
more loyal than a friend, because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. Thank you.
Yeah. She nip you?
No, she just licked my ear.
Licked his ear.
The keys to power.
Which is cool. She's starting to lick. She doesn't lick me though. It's ridiculous.
It is natural to want to employ your friends when you find yourself in times of need. The world is a harsh place, and your friends soften the harshness. Besides, you know them. Why depend on a stranger when you have a friend at hand? The problem is that you often do not know your friends as well as you imagine. Friends often agree on things in order to avoid an argument. They cover up their unpleasant qualities so as to not offend each other. Not me!
Yeah, you just put them out there front and center.
They laugh extra hard at each other's jokes, since honestly rarely strengthen friendships. You may never know how a friend truly feels.
Drop it.
I gotta wait for the light to change. Friends will say that they love you, that they love your poetry, adore your music, envy your taste in clothes. Maybe they mean it. Often they do not.
That actually is probably true.
Yeah, man, that's. People are kind of.
When you decide to hire a friend, you gradually discover the qualities he or she has kept hidden. Strangely enough, it is your act of kindness that unbalances everything. People want to feel they deserve their good for the. Wait, what? People want to feel they deserve their good fortune. Oh, okay, 4-tune. Yeah, same shit you did.
Yeah. It's okay, boys.
Told you.
All right, now I understand.
Do it now too.
Point noted.
Terrible, man.
Fortune.
Fortune.
The receipt of a favor can become oppressive. It means you have been chosen because you are a friend, not necessarily because you are deserving. There is almost a touch of condensation in the act of hiring friends that secretly afflicts them.
I thought it was be a touch of Down syndrome.
Yeah. But condensation, so the
Condescensions.
Condescension. Yeah, this is actually we're all learning.
Dude, there's
how to read again.
there's a misprint, dude. Like the two letters run over each other.
yeah, that
It
is
might be
condescension though.
Oh, it's because it's red. So they just it's one of the red got over there.
Fucking A, bro.
So every once in a while,
Every once in a while.
really shows up.
Every once in a while.
But right when you were reading that word, it's like that's when it really show up.
Yeah. It's like, I'm gonna trip him up.
Fucking the Matrix is fucking with me.
And we all don't know how to read. Let's be
Or it's
fair.
just this light.
We barely read anymore.
The problem with using or hiring friends is that
Really
it
listen.
will
Yeah, I
inevitably
know.
limit your power.
Who?
The friend is rarely the one who is most able to help you, and in the end, skill and competence are far more important than friendly feelings. Agreed.
Yeah, that's why I don't hire friends.
All working situations require a kind of distance between people. You are trying to work, not make friends.
Yeah.
Friendliness, in parentheses, real or false, only obscure the fact. The key to power, then, is the ability to judge who is best able to further your interests in all situations. Your enemies, on the other hand, are an untapped goldmine that you must learn to exploit. When Talleyrand, Napoleon's foreign minister, decided in 1807 that his boss was leading France to ruin and the time had come to turn against him, he understood the dangers of conspiring against the emperor. He needed a partner, a confederate. What friend could he trust in such a project? He chose Fouché,
Fouché.
head of the secret police,
Fauci?
his most hated enemy, a man who had even tried to have him assassinated. He knew that their former hatred would create an opportunity for an emotional reconciliation. He knew that Fouché, I want to say douche because if you change the F out, it's just douche.
Which one?
So maybe it's Fouche. Because it would just.
Fouché. But honestly, dude, it literally, like, look at this. It is spelled Fauci.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, it sounds like that's gonna be a Fauci guy.
I'm telling you, you change out the F to a D, it's just douche.
That's
Douche.
exactly what it is.
He knew that Fauci would expect nothing from him, and in fact would work to prove that he was worthy of Talleyrand's choice. A person who has something to prove will move mountains for you. Finally, he knew that his relationship with Fouché would be based on mutual self-interest and would not be contaminated by personal feelings. The selection proved perfect. Although the conspirators did not succeed in toppling Napoleon, the union of such powerful but unlikely partners generated much interest in the cause. Opposition to the emperor slowly began to spread, and from then on, Talleyrand and Fauché had a fruitful working relationship. Whenever You can
I am the
bury the
silence.
hatchet with an enemy
Oh, boy,
and make a point of putting him in
everybody
your service.
has to listen to me. Oh gosh.
Never let the presence of enemies upset or distress you. You are far better off with a declared opponent or two than not knowing where your real enemies lie. That's great. The man of power welcomes conflict. Love it. Using enemies to enhance his reputation as a sure-footed fighter who can be relied upon in
Yeah,
times
right.
of uncertainty.
He's just
We're gonna watch this guy grow into a monster.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm gonna try to read the red. Why the light turns red.
Good luck, bud.
Imagine the jewel. Oh wait, shit.
You get the finger up there and everything. You're just like, imagine.
Shit.
Imagine shit.
Fuck.
Shit ass fuck.
Oh fuck. The jaws of ingratitude. Knowing what would happen if you put a finger in the mouth of a lion, you would stay clear of it. With friends, you will have no such caution. And if you hire them, they will eat you alive with ingratitude. Authority. Know how to use enemies for your own profit. You must learn to grab a sword not by its blade, which would cut you, but by the handle, which allows you to defend yourself. The wise man profits more than his enemies than a fool from his friends. Balthazar Gratian, 1601 to 1658.
The same guy.
I got number 3.
This is the extended version because
Yeah.
we have the preface.
Yes. Fair enough.
That was painful.
Sorry.
But
It
it's
was fun.
okay. What, the preface?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's word salad. That being said, law number 3. Conceal your intentions. Judgment. Keep people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what you are up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them far enough down the wrong path. Envelop them in enough smoke. By the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late. Sure, yeah, get in there.
Get that.
Do not be held to cheat, even though it is impossible to live today without being one.
We'll pick up on
Let
the
your
next one.
greatest cunning lie in covering up what looks like cunning. Cool, okay. Keys to power.
Keys of the game.
Keys to the game, here we go.
Well,
Most
the game
peop-
is power.
I mean,
So,
it really is.
keys
like,
of the game.
Keys to the game. Hey, get in here and get your keys to the game.
First to the key. First to the egg.
So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna need to score more points than the other team. And if
Yeah.
they score more points, I think they'll be a really happy team at the end of the day.
Name that movie.
True. Is that the Waterboy?
No, it was Ready Player One.
What?
First to the key. First to the egg. They're trying to find the Easter
that a
egg
thing?
and
Oh, okay. Cool.
In the
cool,
game.
cool, cool, cool.
Never-
All right, keys to power. Most people are open books.
I don't think I've seen them.
They
Oh,
say
dude,
what
you need
they
to.
feel,
Oh,
blurt out their opinions at every opportunity, and constantly reveal their plans and intentions. They do this for several reasons. First, it is easy and natural to always want to talk about one's feelings and plans for the future. It takes effort to control your tongue and monitor what you reveal.
I need to start shutting the fuck up.
Yeah, you
Control
do,
your
dude.
tongue, yeah.
Many believe that by being honest and open, they are winning people's hearts and showing their good nature.
You're fucking
They're
wood.
greatly deluded. Honesty is actually a blunt instrument, which
Honesty?
bloodies more than it cuts.
Honestly,
Your honesty is likely to offend people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It is
fucking
much
true.
more prudent to tailor
I
your
can't
words,
not.
telling people what they want to hear rather than the coarse and
Fuck
ugly truth,
that.
what you feel or think.
Yeah, dude, you're not gay. You know?
More important, by being unabashedly open, you make yourself so predictable and familiar that it is almost impossible to respect or fear you. And power will not accrue to a person who cannot inspire such emotions. Damn, dude. Yeah, this book is a little bit sinister at times, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's, no, yeah. Dude.
What is the saying? It's like he who is offended by words will always have a master.
That's
Start
good
getting
quote.
offended by words, dude.
Hey, I'm into BDSM.
Yeah.
If you yearn for power, quickly lay honesty aside and train yourself in the art of concealing your intentions. Master the art and you will always have the upper hand. Basic to an ability to conceal one's intentions is a simple truth about human nature. Our first instinct is to always trust appearances. We cannot go around doubting the reality of what we see and hear. Constantly imagining that appearances concealed something else would exhaust and terrify us. This fact makes it relatively easy to conceal one's intentions. Simply dangle an object you seem to desire.
Yeah, just dangle
A
the joint in
goal
front of
you
your
seem
damn
to aim
face.
for in front of people's eyes, and they will take the appearance for reality. Whoa. Whoa. One way to hide your intentions is to talk endlessly about your desires and goals, just not your real ones. You will kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You appear friendly, open, and trusting.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going to dance class, becoming a ballerina.
That would work. You conceal your intentions, and you send your rivals on time-consuming wild goose chases.
Want to buy a boat and go bass fishing up in Minocqua.
Another powerful tool in throwing people off the scent is false sincerity. People easily mistake sincerity for honesty.
They think you're going to shake their hand, give them a cup of soup.
False sincerity this last week.
Seeming to believe what you say gives your words great weight. This is how Iago deceived and destroyed Othello, given the depth of his emotions, the apparent sincerity of his concerns about
Othello?
Desdemona's supposed infidelity. How could
Didn't that guy just
Othello
make a board
distrust him? What?
Didn't that guy just make a board game?
Othello?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I mean,
The game Othello? Come on.
Othello? I
Yeah.
think we're talking Shakespeare here, bud.
No, that's Thea.
If you believe that deceivers are colorful folk who mislead with elaborate lies and tall tales,
colorful. What do
you are
mean by
greatly
that?
mistaken. The best deceivers utilize a bland and inconspicuous font that calls no attention to themselves. They know that extravagant words and gestures immediately raise suspicion. Instead, they envelop their targets in the familiar, the banal, the harmless. Once you have lulled people's attention with the familiar, they will not notice the deception being perpetrated behind their backs. The grayer and more uniform the smoke in your smokescreen, the better it conceals your intentions. The simplest form of smokescreen is facial expression. Behind a bland, unreadable exterior, all sorts of mayhem can be planned without detection.
Only with poker.
This is a weapon that the most powerful men in history have learned to perfect. It was said that no one could read Franklin Delano Roosevelt's face. Baron James Rothschild made a lifelong practice of disguising his real thoughts behind bland smiles and nondescript looks. Hey, we got a Rothschild's reference here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You
Checks
know what that
out.
means.
Checks out.
You know what that means.
He read this book.
Yep.
Steal all the money and
Yeah. And then sink a
Make
ship.
people eat bugs.
Sink a ship with all your rivals
that's that
on it.
Bond villain from the the World Economic Forum. The guy who sounds like a Bond villain. He's like, you will have no.
Oh,
Charles Schwab.
yeah.
Schwab, yeah.
Yeah.
Even has a Schwab last name. It was like,
Yeah. Remember, it takes patience and humility to dull your brilliant colors, to put on the mask of the inconspicuous. Do not despair in having to wear such a bland mask. It is often your unreadability that draws people to you and makes you appear a person of power. Image. A sheep's skin. A sheep never marauds. A sheep never deceives. A sheep is magnificently dumb and docile. With a sheepskin on his back, a fox can pass right into the chicken coop. Authority. Have you ever heard of a skillful general who intends to surprise a citadel, announcing his plan to his enemy? Conceal your purpose and hide your progress. Do not disclose the extent of your designs until they cannot be opposed. Until the combat is over.
God, a lot of this makes sense though. The sinister shit sucks, but there's a lot of other stuff in here that's fucking gold.
Well, I guess it really kind of turns into like you decide how to apply this book and the laws.
Word.
You know, like that's really what it comes down to. I mean, you like ultimately
you can go right. You can go the dark route, or you can go the light route using the same type of fucking power.
That's right, dude. So it's the force.
Right.
The 48 laws of power is the fucking force.
I'm gonna have to go with the in and out route.
Wait, is this
gonna go in one ear and
mitochondria?
out the other? I was like, oh yeah. Whoops.
No, just in the first 3 laws.
I'm gonna go to work and outshine the master.
You're gonna literally do everything opposite.
We're like, yeah, fuck the laws of power.
Win the victory.
Let's see if they actually work.
Win the victory before you declare the war. In a word, imitate those warlike people whose designs are not known, except by the ravaged country through which they have passed.
No.
Nignon de Anclos, 1623 to 1706.
Ooh.
All right, and we start off with 4 next time, huh?
Yeah, which is always say less than necessary. So we're gonna skip that one.
Pow! And that's going to wrap it up here for this episode of the Basement Boys. Join us next time when we pick back up power number 4.
Have a good night, all.
Later!